We have legacy Basin employees who have been here for a long time and contribute the long-standing value of the cooperative and that culture.
And almost speechless in saying, the amount of cohesiveness there is with a group of employees throughout the organization.
I'm just so incredibly impressed with the folks that I get to work with day in and day out.
When I think about the employees that came before us and built Basin Electric, it's just amazing, their abilities.
I come from a family that's always served on co-ops. My grandfather served on a number of boards. My dad served on a board.
We lost a lot of knowledge in the last couple of years.
But Basin has a lot of steady people ready to mentor, and they're ready to carry the torch forward.
What I've seen in the folks who've come on here over the last couple, 3 years is they've looked at what a cooperative is, and by and large they've been very happy with the choice they've made.
It's just really fun to see the new blood coming in with their change attitude.
We're making a difference, and that is so important.
To see leaders being born, leaders taking charge.
So if you've got the will, you got the desire, the sky's the limit.
They are eager to learn, and we are working with them to train them, and we are going to be in good hands.
So the generation and transmission that we've built in partnership with our partners, I think, really has made for a successful model.
Going and seeing what's behind that switch. What does it take to generate electricity?
Innovation really is at the core of all we do, right from the very beginning. When Basin started out, it was premised on giant power. Then, when our membership asked us to move forward with renewable energy, we stepped forward.
There are going to be challenges ahead. 111D, for example, is going to have a huge impact.
Well, the Clean Power Plan basically would require us to completely reconfigure our generation fleet. The state isn't granted, more likely than not. Basin and other utilities in the United States will have to proceed as if the rule is valid.
There's no question, this is a huge issue. But frankly, Basin Electric and our membership is positioned as well as anyone to take this on.
We've sequestered 30 million tons of CO2 in the Canadian oil fields.
Going forward, we'll have challenges as we migrate into SPP.
And going live with SPP on October 1st.
It's a lot of the legwork we did up front between groups to, as I said, to explain to each other the importance of what we do.
This is the first time that Basin has managed its entire footprint in its 50-plus year lifetime.
I think what sustains rural America, in my estimation, is just our grassroots focus that we have.
The way that Basin Electric and the members have always banded together to conquer any issue or tackle any problem that may be out there is what keeps me most excited.
We couldn't do it by ourselves. We're supported by the membership, and we support the membership.
What's really always impressed me is what we can do when the members work together. We can accomplish so much.
It really does take a team effort to be successful.
And that's really the purpose. Doing the job for the member at the end of the line.
Adding value to rural America by bringing those fertilizer products, creating those fertilizer products in the heartland.
It is through our heritage that we build our future.
It's just the cooperative way of doing things.
I know we can do it. I know the members will stand behind us. And with that, we can't fail.
Good afternoon and welcome to Basin Electric's annual meeting. It's certainly good to see you all, and I thank you for coming. I try to get around to see as many of you as I can and greet you, but again, those who I don't get to see, thanks to all of you for attending. I think this group you just watched really said it all. Their commitment shines, and I couldn't be prouder of what they do for us, quite frankly. I don't think I can recall a time in the last 30 years we've had more at stake than we have right now. And yet, I've never felt stronger that we have the right folks on the bus and that we've got this. People, power, purpose. That's what it comes down to. Wayne summarized the heart of this theme very, very well. Now I'm going to share with you how we are living that theme at Basin Electric. Let's really start with people. There's a number of initiatives that we've launched to make sure our greatest assets are taken care of. The Board of Directors, together with senior staff and employees throughout Basin Electric, have developed the 2015 Cooperative Plan. Our intention is to focus and align our efforts and, above all, give our employees direction. I want everyone to understand how each of their roles relates to our mission. I've brought Diane Paul out of retirement to come back and help lead this effort. Together, with the rest of my senior staff, we've launched a number of initiatives to see to it that our people are safe, engaged, and well prepared for the future. I'd like to touch on an overarching effort that impacts everyone in Basin Electric, the same topic with which I always start and end my employee meetings, that being safety. We have continued to work with CAT Safety Services on the Our Power, My Safety initiative and have rolled it out cooperative-wide. In fact, we just celebrated our one-year mark since launching the culture-changing program. I've been so impressed with all of our employees and how they're approaching this. But it's turning into something much larger. You saw in the video where Bob Bartosh referenced watching leaders being born. He couldn't be more right. From our long-standing veterans to our new employees, this initiative and so many others are bringing out the best in our workforce. They're making us question why we do the things we do, and they offer fresh ideas, new solutions, and continuous improvement. I couldn't be more pleased to see this come out of what was initially an effort to just transform our safety culture. Along those lines, we're also taking steps to strengthen the relationship between our employees and their supervisors. We've made great strides, but we still have work to do. This past year, we started an effort to engage our managers and supervisors on all issues impacting Basin Electric as they relate to our cooperative plan. We're giving them the tools to enhance their communications with their employees, and we're putting more demands on our managers, helping them to become leaders and not strictly managers. We're also taking a hard look at our new employees and how we integrate them into our culture. For years, our new employees were a rarity. Our long-standing employees led the cooperative from its infancy to where it is today. But now, we're seeing the people who built Basin Electric retire. We must not only get the right people on board today, but also set them up for success in the future. And that means they must understand our culture, our values, and who they work for. Diane Paul's team has been busy working to revamp this employee orientation process. It's a big effort, but it will pay dividends. Next, we need to look at our employees and members and ask ourselves, what are we doing today to build tomorrow's leaders? 25 years from now, when I am long gone, I want the Basin Electric family to not only be standing, but standing stronger than ever. It's up to us to create that legacy, and that really starts now. We're really close to launching a job shadowing program between Basin Electric and our member cooperatives that includes a youth leadership program. You'll hear more about it during this meeting, but I am very excited about this initiative. All of these efforts, from employee development to member engagement, point to one direction: making sure the next generation of cooperative leaders are engaged, empowered, and established in the cooperative movement. We need our next leaders to be as strong as our predecessors. This also means taking care of our people and our communities in other ways. In other words, living by our cooperative principles. One example that I'm particularly proud of is our agreement with the Missouri Valley YMCA, where Basin Electric, together with other area organizations, is facilitating a new daycare in our community. So our employees will be guaranteed up to 50 slots for their children. We're also actively looking for daycare solutions in Mercer County and in Wheatland. The need for daycare among our employees and in our communities is very real. We've lost employees because they couldn't find care for their children. So it only makes sense that we help solve this problem for them and help our communities at the same time. You'll also hear my senior staff present updates on so many other worthwhile efforts that lead back to our cooperative plan. The key is our commitment to growth and innovation, commitment to cooperative values, and operational excellence. Their updates will be summarized within these sections. We're taking an integrated approach this year because as Basin Electric evolves, more and more of our work is integrated across several departments. And the success of these initiatives lies within our ability to work together for a common goal. During this meeting, you'll see that teamwork in action. But at the end of the day, our goal is to serve you, the membership. Our existing membership continues to grow, and there are new possibilities for growth as well. We are continuing the ongoing study of expanding our relationship with our sister G&T, Minn Kota Power Cooperative. Combining our resources could be of great value to both of us, so this truly is very exciting. And while this growth may come in many different forms, we are uniquely positioned to take it on. John Jacobs and his employees continue to run an ever-growing generation fleet that, in my opinion, is absolutely second to none. The value of our baseload generation cannot be understated, especially on those very warm or very cold days. The fleet continues to serve our members with reliable and affordable power. For the past few years, we've had to expand our system to serve growing demand. While much of this growth is in the Bakken, our entire system is growing, a truly unique position to be in. We're approaching this growth through additional generation, transmission, and purchases. The AVS to Judson line is nearly complete, and development is underway on the North Killdeer Loop. Phase 3 of Pioneer and Lonesome Creek stations is under development, and we've entered into more purchase contracts for wind in the Dakotas. As we meet this growth, we cannot sway from our innovative roots. As cooperatives, we come together to solve problems for our members, for our communities, and for our industry. We've had a long-standing record of innovation at Basin Electric. Look at the dry scrubber at LRS in the 1980s or the ammonium sulfate scrubber at the Synfuels plant in the 90s. We must always take the time to explore innovations and if not lead them, support them. It's really what cooperatives do. We recently formalized our commitment to innovation with the establishment of the Horizons Committee. Today, we have a cross-departmental group exploring not only how we're going to meet impending regulations, but how we can help advance new technologies. In fact, just last month, we announced the Dry Fork Station will be the site host of an integrated test center where promising innovators will be testing carbon capture technology on the Dry Fork Station flue gas. I was pleased to be at the announcement, along with Wyoming Governor Matt Mead, who has been an unwavering supporter of Basin Electric and our Wyoming power plants. The Horizon Committee has also been actively involved in this project, but it also serves a very important purpose. One that isn't so much fun, responding to impending regulations. You heard about the Clean Power Plan this morning. This rule is far worse than the proposed rule. 8 of the 12 states hit the hardest are in our service territory. This is an ugly one for Basin Electric. We're floating all boats in our approach to this. We're fighting this legally. We're working with neighboring states to formulate a response on the state implementation process, and we'll be likely raising awareness through a comprehensive campaign. I can't tell you how this will end, but I can say the costs are incredibly high. As written, this rule will severely impact our members. It could mean closing power plants with many years of remaining useful life, forcing massive amounts of wind and natural gas into our region, all for little or no benefit. This is simply something we cannot allow. Our guiding force in all our decisions has been and will always be the impact on our members. And while that philosophy will never change, the way we're doing business is changing. All of these decisions are focused on the members' best interests. On October 1st, Basin Electric reached a historical milestone when we joined the Southwest Power Pool. This could be the greatest change in how we do business in our history. This change shifts our focus when it comes to future power supply decisions, locations of new units, when to dispatch certain units, and really so much more. But we simply couldn't continue operating as we were. Moving into SPP opens us up to a range of opportunities, from selling surplus power to gaining access to the market in times of high demand. Our members were in lockstep with us on this change because it also profoundly affects them. Here are some perspectives from our member managers.
We were looking at, how do we survive by ourselves, just us and WAPA, and realized we couldn't do that anymore, that we had to go somewhere.
Just looking at SPP, we could see there's differences in the type of membership they have in SPP. There's difference in the way they approach problems.
SPP is a much better fit. They've been extremely easy to work with.
I think it's changed once we got the education process done and understood that this wasn't a change to how we do business. It was just a different method.
I'm looking at probably better reliability than we had before because we have a larger partner.
We all need to change kind of how we look at things. We're not trying to maintain the old IS system. We're trying to abide by the SPP tariff.
It changes the mechanics of how the delivery of the generation and delivery of power to the membership occurs. But as far as the philosophy and the attitude of Basin Electric, I don't see it changing at all.
We're still doing the same thing. We're still running power plants. We're still building transmission lines. We're doing the same things. We're not turning the keys over to somebody else to operate. We still have those keys.
Basin has always been member-focused from the beginning.
Basin went through it as well as could be expected. I thought they did a great job. There's a million things to think about.
If I wear my Rushmore hat, the joining of SPP was not really a good deal for us. We had some cost shift that came our way. That's part of being in a family.
We do get together, we do talk about it, we do make sure that issues are open and discussed, and that if there's winners and losers, that's an open discussion.
Every time we deal with an issue at the Basin table, there's winners and losers. That's just the nature of being part of a bigger group.
We're all owners of Basin. We have ownership there. We need Basin to be successful. We need our membership to be successful.
It's a tremendous effort, and Basin has to be commended for the effort they put in.
There's been a tremendous amount of support from Basin to help the memberships with their integration into SPP.
We've taken this path. That's where we're going. The other roads aren't available anymore.
And I think that's the strength of the family.
So it's been a very positive experience from that.
This is where the fun starts.
I'd really like to thank those guys because they can say it far better than I ever could, and I want to thank them publicly for that. Another shift for us happened in June when we ended our financial relationship with the RUS, formerly the Rural Electric Administration, or the REA. With this move, we closed a chapter in our history book. It was with RE loans that our story really began. However, as RUS evolved, a number of factors played into our decision to buy out of the RUS. This does not change that we're a cooperative. It only reinforces the importance of our membership. We still very much support the valuable role the RUS plays in rural America and for our members, many of whom still receive RUS financing. The strength of our membership and business model spoke volumes when our team went to investors to procure debt previously held by the RUS. The cooperative raised $1.5 billion, nearly double the original goal of $800 million. It was the largest generation and transmission cooperative U.S. private placement transaction to date. Why is this? Well, it really comes back to you. Our lenders view our creditworthiness very favorably. The absolute linchpin of our financial strength is the long-term power supply contracts with Basin Electric. It's unusual for an investor to find any other organization that has those long-term contracts in place. This also speaks highly of our cooperative family. Long ago, and again recently, when you signed the new power supply contracts, you collectively decided that it's best to be in it together rather than apart. That really is the crux of who we are, and that is why it's more important than ever to stick together. Be it the Clean Power Plan, SPP integration, meeting load, or growing our membership. It all comes back to you, our members. The board and employees have also been particularly engaged in Dakota Gasification Company. We've taken great steps to diversify the products at the plant. Today, it's a model of industry ingenuity, a leader in CO2 sequestration, a developer of many valuable industrial and manufacturing products, and a fertilizer source for rural America. You'll hear more about the new urea plant under construction, but admittedly, I love this project. I love what it stands for. I love that we're positioning the Synfuels plant into the future to more directly serve our members with valuable agricultural products. This project makes sense in so many ways, and the economic benefits are very real indeed. No doubt, moving forward with urea is the result of staff and member analysis. But what should Dakota Gas really be when it grows up? Should it continue to be a hydrocarbon fuels factory, or should it be a fertilizer factory? This will continue to evolve, but I'm very pleased with the process so far and I'm very excited to involve our employees. We want them to understand where Dakota Gas is going, and most importantly, why, and why they will help us get there. So I started with people, and I'm ending with people. Every day I walk into work and I see our people at work, and then on other days I get to visit with the membership, and on really good days I see you at co-op meetings and your annual meetings. I have said it before, and it's worth repeating, the people, our membership, and our employees energize me. People, power, purpose. No one said it better than our first CEO and general manager, Jim Grahl.
The main reason, in my opinion, that Basin Electric was so successful is that thousands of people, not only in the rural electric cooperatives, but thousands of people not in the rural electric cooperatives, worked together and helped because they believed that Basin Electric stood for something, that it stood for a lot more than just a kilowatt-hour factory. And while individually they were small, when they came together in a big enough group, they had enough power and enough strength to get the job done.
I would hope that Mr. Grahl is proud of what our original incorporators started. It is with their vision that we power on into the future. No matter the challenge, no matter the difficulty, it's about people. It's about the power we generate, and it's about our purpose. So while the Basin Electric Mr. Grahl helped create looks strikingly different than the Basin Electric today, the mission and values really remain the same. You, the membership, entrust us with these assets, and you challenge us to operate them in the most economic manner. Every morning when I arrive at work, I'm humbled by the opportunity to do this job, and I get great comfort in knowing that I have tremendous employees, a very supportive board, and a very supportive membership. I've never wanted to work so hard, and I can't think of a better cause for which to work. Thank you for your support over the past year.